Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I'm John,
I'm Chris.
and we're going with just you and I tonight, Chris. We got rid of Mike because he's probably really mad. So I don't
Oh,
know why, but he's probably upset.
a lot of bad takes the last few weeks. We thought, he should take a little time out and rethink
Right.
his hockey knowledge.
Has to take a hiatus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, let's get going. We got lots of stuff here on the agenda, and in fact, we have so much stuff that we decided to take one question out and add another one. So there you go. So let's go on to our first topic. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche and Nathan MacKinnon. A few nights ago, they beat the Oilers 9-1. Shocking. I wasn't expecting that. MacKinnon had 4 points in that game. And that was on November the 8th. Now on the 9th, so the very next night, the Avalanche beat Vancouver Canucks. Seemed like playing against Canadian teams. Beat them 5-4. And of course, MacKinnon ended up with 5 points in that game. So 9 points for MacKinnon in two games. Of course, you give MacKinnon 9 points in 2 games, and he's leading the league in scoring now with 29 points. Chris, do you think MacKinnon's going to score the most points in the NHL this year? What do you think?
Pretty much every year he is up there as long as he's healthy. He's usually in that top 2, top 3 in the running for it. I know we've had just questions like this before about do I take a player or do I take the field?
Yes. Well, that's why I wanted to ask this, because you always take the field, but I'm wondering if
Well,
you might take the player this time.
I'd say I take the field right every day of the week, but I don't think I'll do it twice on Sunday with MacKinnon. Maybe I'll just go once on Sunday, and I'll leave a little opening there. That yes, I if I was a betting man, I would have no problem putting money on MacKinnon finishing up as the scoring leader of the NHL this year.
If not MacKinnon, do you think it's McDavid? Do you pick Kucherov? Do you pick somebody else?
Kucherov has done it a few times. I, if I was had to bet, I'd be betting on McDavid catching up and passing. I know there's a lot of the kiddie core, 19, 18, 20-year
Right.
olds
Yep.
are right behind them. Leo Carlson again last night had some really nice moves, even though they lost it. He looks like that stud center that everybody wants.
Right. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but overall, I expect Kucherov, McDavid, MacKinnon are the top 3 offensively gifted players in the league this year.
So if I was to ask you, give the percentage to the highest player, you would give the biggest percentage to McDavid then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough.
I
All
think
right.
he's what
That's fair.
6 points behind. That's one game. That's one game against. Oh, I don't know. Let me throw some. Oh, the Flyers tonight. Maybe that's the game that he gets over 6 points. I don't know.
It
Could
could
be
be.
crazy.
Could be. Yeah. The Flyers. Oh, well, we're not going to talk too much about the Flyers tonight, Chris, but
Oh,
that's okay.
well, that's why I threw that out there.
All right. Okay. Now let's go on to our second topic. And I like leading one topic into another. This one sort of leads into the first one, and that is Jean-Luc-Pickard. Pickard, obviously. Jean-Luc-Pickard, 21 shots, and he let 5 goals in. That's a .762 save percentage. It's not good. And then Skinner had 13 shots against, and he let in 4 goals, and that is a save percentage of .692. Man, those percentages are pretty sweet. This goalie thing in Edmonton is starting to become a massive issue. Now, it's been an issue for 2 years, but I mean, this is getting a little bit ridiculous now, isn't it? Now, when are they going to deal with this mess, Chris? Is there anyone they can get right now? Is there anything that these guys should they call up an AHL goalie and do something? You know, bring Grant Fuhr back? I mean, what the hell should go on here?
Well, first thing, it's bad when the save percentages of your goalies, resemble or almost match the forex exchange of the U.S. dollar and Canadian dollar. Right? That's not a good thing at all.
No.
I was actually talking with friend of the show Kid there about this because he's a big Oilers fan.
Yes,
And
I was talking to him too. It's another reason why I put this question in there.
yeah, he had a few comments, and I agree, and I think I agree with his assessment, and I'm sure the Oilers are going to go down this path, but there is no fix. I don't think there's a potential fix during this season to fix the goaltending situation in Edmonton. Um, with a waiver claim for Connor Ingram, right? Stuff like that is what they're going to be looking for. Guys are put on waivers, maybe a backup goalie that they think that has potential to come in and stabilize, but only making $1 million, $2 million max because they're up at the salary cap too, right? So they don't have the room for this. The UC Soros rumors are ridiculous. He's getting paid 8, 9 million. Like, Edmonton can't even fit that under their cap, right? I don't. This feels like an off season. They must find themselves a number one goalie when the season's done, right? I told Ken, I said, this franchise really they've failed. And the previous two GMs, because 4 years ago, Freddie Anderson was a free agent coming out of Toronto. Now, maybe Holland reached out and Freddie said, I want out of the Canadian market. Could be. I don't know. But he only went for two years at 3.5 million, something ridiculous, right? Edmonton could have got that undone. And then Freddie Anderson became a free agent again. And he took a pay cut to stay in Carolina on another 2-year deal, right? So Holland and Bowman both failed Edmonton. I don't understand why they didn't go after him, especially at that type of term. And I'm assuming in the offseason they're going to empty the clip to find themselves a number one goaltender, which could be the last year or two of McDavid in Edmonton. But again, for this season, I just don't. I only see tweaking here and there with guys, low paid guys in the league. I just don't see them being able to make a move during the season this year.
Well, I am going to defend Skinner a little bit from the first time with Anderson because Skinner, they really thought that he was going to be the guy. So I can see them maybe not going out and getting Anderson the first time. The second time, I have a harder time buying it.
Yeah.
But,
especially if you're concerned about durability and stuff. Well, you have him and you have Skinner, right? Then Skinner's the backup. He doesn't have the pressure, and he knows Anderson's number one, right? So yeah, it's.
Or they could split evenly.
Yeah,
but you could do that too.
That's the brain trust of the Edmonton-Oilers.
Well, I wanted to put that question in there because I saw those save percentages, and I was like, my goodness, that is just horrific.
Yeah. Yeah,
like I know it's a 9-1 game, but even the other night, $1. Yeah, that's true too, and it's only going to get worse, I think.
The 9-1, every team's going to have one of those games during the regular season.
Sure.
Some of them might have 2 or 3, but even the good teams are going to have one absolute stinker. I know other stuff's going on in Edmonton right now, and there's still some concern. This was a 7-game road trip. I think they're kicking off tonight. I think it's a long one.
6 or 7 games. Yep.
This could be one of those make or break scenarios and how they do on this road trip. I don't think we can see the merit. Was it 2 years ago or last year? They started really bad, and then all of a sudden they went on fire.
Well, they did it. They've done that now 2 years in a row. Actually, started out bad and then.
But I don't. If they only win 1 or 2 here in the 7-game road trip, I can't see Edmonton making that big jump again this year.
All right. Well, are they going to make the playoffs? Is there enough talent there to make the playoffs even with shitty goaltending?
Yeah. They got to get Bouchard going, and they need to get Hyman back. And I guess Nugent-Hopkins is out too right now, right, for a few weeks. So.
Oh, is he? I didn't even realize that he was injured.
Yeah, I believe I saw something flash about his injury.
Okay.
So, but Hyman might be a week or 2. I don't know if he went on the trip or not, but you look at their lineup, they don't really have the depth, especially with Corey Perry gone and Evander Kane gone, who brought a lot of physicality in that team.
Yep, he did.
They replaced him with cheap young guys. I think Savoy will stay because he's defensively responsible. He's penalty killing for them. But the other guys, I can't think of the guy they got from Tampa Bay. He's probably not ready for the NHL. And they got a guy from Europe, Thomas Sack or something like that. And he seems like a bit part. So they're struggling with the lines and getting that set up. So they really need Hyman back to, I think, at least get the first line solidified. And if Nugent-Hopkins gets back, they get 2 lines. But their third and fourth lines are not, as much as you like Henrique. I'm not a big Henrique fan, and the other pieces they have. But Bouchard is
Okay.
probably the lightning rod, right? He's the one that's taking all the heat. He really needs to
Well,
solidify the defensive game, get his confidence back, and then
it's
maybe we're talking about, hey, look at Edmonton, they've won 12 in a row again. Talk here in January, right?
it's probably Bouchard that saved their season in the first round last year against LA. I mean, we've talked about it here on the show.
Yeah.
How the LA player decided, I'll step towards Bouchard instead of trying to clear it off the boards. I mean, why would I ever do that? And
Yeah.
Bouchard takes it away, steals it, and then 20 seconds later, Bouchard scores, and series they win the game, and they don't go down 3-0, and then they end up winning the series, and
Yeah.
it all
Well,
changed from there. So,
they've seen the best of Bouchard. Right now, they're probably seeing his lowest. But, sometimes this happens to players.
well, yeah, he's going to gamble, and sometimes he's going to get burned. So that's just the way it goes. All right, Chris. Let's go on to our third topic now. This is something you wanted to talk about. We have
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Knight for Chicago, Logan Thompson from the Capitals. Now, Chris, you wanted to talk about these two goalies tonight. Now, Knight has 26 goals. Now, just make sure I get this right. Now, you sent this to me a few days ago, so I know obviously now it's probably different. Knight has
Yeah.
26 goals against, but his expected goals against was 39.32, so he's saving 13.3% more goals than he was expected. Okay, fine. Logan Thompson has 16 goals against, and he was expected to have saved or let in 25.17 goals for a bonus of 9.2. Chris, what do you think of these two goalies? And this all comes back to the Team Canada question from last week.
Yep. Team Canada, some other, again, friends of the podcast listening in, they'll recall, I think before the season started. So first, let's talk about Spencer Knight, right?
Yep,
Friend of the show again, Claude mentioned, and he kind of put out there that, hey, the Chicago Blackhawks didn't really do anything in the offseason. I think they're the worst team coming into the league.
that's right.
And we talked about it, and we kind of agreed, like, yeah, they didn't do too
I
much.
agreed.
But
Yep.
if you re-listen to it, you'll hear me say, but they did get Spencer Knight. And if he lives up to the pedigree of being a first round pick, that might help them. Well, we'll fast forward it right now. And yeah, Spencer Knight is living up to the billing. The Blackhawks are winning games, and it's off the back of what he's doing, right? He's really showing that he is a legit goalie. I know it's still early. There's still a long ways to go. But so far, that trade looks like a very good trade. I know the Chicago management's been kind of getting bashed a little bit from being a little behind the other rebuilds, but those numbers don't lie, right? Like you said, he's a third of the goals they're supposed to score against him. He's stopping,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I mean that's
Um,
a really good number. You can't argue with that.
and he's number one. Number two, of course, is the guy we talk about all the time, the Winnipeg goalie. Connor, Hellebuck is again number two. Um, I'll just briefly mention him because I know analytically Winnipeg's getting caved in, other than him. So they're winning games, but they are getting smashed by all the teams they're playing against, again, because of what Hellebuck's doing. Lowry's back. I think that's going to help Winnipeg statistically get back to at least being average. Um, and then the third goalie is Logan Thompson, 9.2 above. I'm sure it's 10 now after the Carolina game last night. He looked really good again, just like he did last year. Uh, 1 year doesn't tell me you're a good goalie, but when you're starting to prove it in a second year and a third year, Logan Thompson looks locked in. He looks athletic. He looks confident. And this again, yes, ties into our discussion about he cannot be kept off Team Canada, right?
Right.
They would have to be an inquiry into the leadership team of Team Canada, the coaches, the GMs, if Logan Thompson is not named as one of the three goaltenders. If you still have a problem with him or you want to put him as a third guy to start the tournament, fill your boots. But he has to be named, or people need to be fired and thrown out of the Team Canada. Because Logan Thompson looks like he's going to be him, right? He's going to be him. I think what was his record in the last 2 years? Like 40 something and 16. Like he wins. Doesn't win
Yep.
in the playoffs against Carolina, but he wins.
Right. So, and you believe that Logan Thompson, obviously, well, you just said it, he should be on Team Canada. Now, that kind of leads us a little bit into our fourth topic. which is the TSN staff, or no, Craig Button, our buddy Craig Button. I love to go back to Craig Button. I usually take a couple shots at him every year while we're doing this show.
As you should.
So he put up the list of who he thought was going to be on Team Canada the other
And
night.
Mike Johnson,
Mike Johnson,
their
so
consensus team.
Yes, they do work together a lot on the show.
Yeah.
And Chris, why don't you tell our audience what you sent me and Mike about that list? What was it that you said, or you don't have to say it exactly. You can paraphrase.
Yeah, I can say. So on Twitter, when I saw this, I started going through the list, and one name stopped me in the tracks, and I was just like, "This is ridiculous."
And
I responded back
was that?
saying, "What's that?"
What name was that?
Zach Hyman. It had Zach Hyman listed as a second line left winger on Team Canada. So I just responded back on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. I said, "These clowns lost me at Hyman. Unbelievable. Time to retire, Graig." And I've never had so many likes on Twitter than I had on this comment. Because obviously a lot of people in Canada are sick and tired of Mr. Button.
Right.
The GM, he had a cup of coffee as a GM, got fired, never seen again. There's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, so he ended up on TSN. So we're going to make sure.
He ends up on TSN, and like it's even the yearly draft. He'll list his top 80 players, and you look at Bob McKenzie, and he's got guys all over the place. I'm just like, dude, like, yeah.
We're going to make sure that we put your X account on in the notes so that people can see it. Maybe they'll want to comment or follow you. Because, hey, you know what you're talking about. That's why you're on the show, right? So might as well follow you on X or Twitter or whatever it is that you want to call it. So now this goes more than just that. I mean, we were also talking about the goalies. Now, I know that doesn't have anything to do with Craig Button, but I noticed that Craig Button put your boy, Logan Thompson, in his list of goalies.
He did, yeah. Him, Darcy Kumper, and Jordan Billington. Can't go wrong. Like I said, Aiden Hill's hurt. I just don't see him. Montembeau from Montreal. No, I don't even know how. I don't even know why he's...
Is that his name? Montembeau?
Montembeau's probably, yeah. I don't think he's... I never even thought he was him. Defensively, Travis Sanheim on the third pairing. He's got Thomas Harley on the team and Brandon Montanor. Harley's going to be in the top six with the the usual suspects: Makar, Taves, Morrissey, Theodore. I think, and Piracco. I think that's locked.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No, but Montanor, I don't see that, and I'm pretty sure Harley will slide in there. He did really good in the Four Nations when he stepped in, and he should be in there. On the forwards, it's a who's who. Again, Zach Hyman, please, out of there. He's got Nick Suzuki, and last week I said I can see Nick Suzuki getting on this team.
Yes, and sure. I think he should be on this team.
On a third or fourth line center. And they got him on the third line. I think probably more fourth line, but anyways, that's where he's at. They put Celebrini in there. I know he's, the flavor of the month, recency bias kicking in, all that, but this is the Olympics. This is the best and the best. I don't know. Maybe as an extra, but I can't see him actually starting.
Okay.
The fourth line, they got Bo Horvat. I think Bo Horvat is well liked by Team Canada officials, and he's starting off really good as a goal scorer. He struggles in center ice, though. He's not the best defending center iceman out there, so I struggle with that. I think if he makes this team, he's going to be pushed to the wing. But the wingers have got Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson. Last week I mentioned I believe Tom Wilson should make this team.
Well, I am sure extra. Tom Wilson is going to be on this team. I'd be very surprised if he is not.
He'll definitely be on it. I don't know if he's going to play every game, but he should definitely be on it. Brad Marchand, you think that at some point we're going to say no, but I think he's got 11 goals again. Like he's lighting it up again. He's still showing to be an elite player.
I know. But I just think he could be that. To push him aside a little bit and let somebody younger get in there.
If they go with Celebrini and Bedard and that, which I don't think they will, you would think he'd be the guy. And then they got Mark Sheffley as an extra and Brandon Hagel as an extra. No Sorelli, which is a little interesting to me. And, of course, my boy knows Seth Jarvis on their team.
Yeah.
Yep. which is interesting to say the least. But yeah, when this list came out, I saw Zach Hyman, and I kind of stopped from there and replied back on X to say you guys are ridiculous. I suspect Mike Johnson grew up with Zach Hyman, knows the family, and this is just political BS, right? Hey, I'm going to try to get your name out there, and maybe I can get you to the Olympics, my boy Zach. So, because I think Zach Hyman's family is very rich, and I'm sure they're trying to kiss up to them. But anyways, that's my 10,000-foot view of
Well,
why they would even think about putting Zach Hyman in there. They're trying to kiss up to the rich parents.
man, it's a good thing. Why don't you just tell us how you really feel,
No,
Chris? I
that's
mean,
how I
good thing
really
you
feel.
didn't leave anything on the table
Because
there. Anything?
there's no analytics and there's no hockey intelligence that puts Zach Hyman on this team. Do they think he's still Zach Hyman who scored 50-some goals 2 years ago because McDavid was shooing the puck off his butt into the net? Come on, enough.
All right. Okay. All right. I mean, that takes care of that.
And I think he's coming off some type of wrist injury, right? Hey, Zach
Yes.
Hyman. It's a wrist injury and they got pins in there. Oh, yeah, let's put him on the Olympic team. Ridiculous.
Well,
All right, I
Edmonton needs him
regress.
to play.
I
All right. Okay.
regress.
All right. Well, we're going to go on to our fifth topic. Now, this is one that I added late because of what's been going on here. So now this is kind of long. I'm just going to spew down what I have written here.
Mhm.
So we have some allegations and some arrests for fixing games in Major League Baseball and in the NBA. Now, it's getting big headlines lately. Now, there's a story that Arthur Kaliev sends forward, owes some people thousands of dollars. I saw $50,000 was one of the numbers I saw for his gambling debts. Now, I know that these two things are not necessarily exactly the same. But like you said, the NHL is investigating, and I believe this is the second time that they're investigating this. It's kind of weird, but supposedly his ex-girlfriend and some other people is who he owes this money to. Now, there's been no charges made. But the NHL, of course, is looking into this, like you said, and with all this other stuff going on with the NBA and Major League Baseball, that's probably why they decided to have another look at it. I know this is not the same thing as the fixing of games, but maybe that's some other part of this. We don't know yet exactly. But how long is it before the NHL has accusations of that game fixing, Chris? There is no way. I believe there's no way that this is happening zero time. I think it's probably harder to happen in the NHL. It's not quite the same thing. But people love to gamble. And the NHL is no different. Chris, am I just nuts?
No, I don't think the NHL can be given a free pass on this and expect that everything is hunky dory compared to the other leagues. I think game fixing is still very difficult and probably, as we've seen historically, because I know it hit me personally because in basketball, I was a Sacramento Kings fan.
Oh, yes.
And in 2001, they lost to the Lakers, right? And Kobe Bryant and all that Mamba crap that they like to spew about how great he is. But the facts is the facts that Tim Donahue went to jail because he put the fix in for
Yeah.
that ridiculous
Right.
game where the Lakers had 26 foul shots or something against Sacramento, right? And they stole that potential championship from them. Referees can have a little more influence, right, in game fixing. I think the big problem today now is with all these gambling sites is these prop bets. So
Right.
prop bets they don't care about the score of the game or who wins. They're focused on who scores the first goal,
Right.
um, who's the who scores any goal during the game, right? Baseball can be the first pitch is a ball, the first pitch is a strike, which is what's getting the two baseball pitchers in trouble right now because they saw unusually high betting on a prop bet for when the guy came in the pitch, the first pitch would be a ball, and he threw in the dirt, right? And I think the other guy got screwed over because he threw the ball in the dirt, and Pages from the Dodgers swung at it. But it's the prop bets is probably the worry. But yeah, going back to the NHL, this Arthur guy, he's gambling. I think the NHL looked at it, said it was okay. But when this all came up with
Yes.
the
Yeah.
baseball, they're like, well, let's go a little deeper just to make sure what was he
Right.
gambling on exactly, right?
Right. And I think that more may come out of this story yet.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So,
But NHL. We can't sit here and say, "Oh, the good old Canadian boys." No, even though the baseball's stupid, right? A guy gets paid $4 million a year to pitch, and he's going to make 5,000 for throwing a ball in to help
Yeah,
out some buddies. Bad.
it's that rush though. It's the addiction, the rush to the gambling.
Yeah.
I've gone on now, so this is our third year for the show, and each of the last 2 years I've made some question about the gambling sites that are going on. Like even when we're watching TSN, like everything's sponsored by FanDuel. Everything's a gamble. Everything you can bet on friggin' everything. I think it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this game, if you're going to put that gambling in like that, this is what's going to happen. Exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's worth it. And I think it's ruining the sport. You know, I used to play a little bit of pro line for football once a week on Sundays for a few dollars. It's such nonsense that I even stopped doing that because it just wasn't worth my time.
The house always wins, Whitey.
That's right.
And soon as they allowed these gambling sites and stuff to be legal, they're making so much money. That's why they're advertising. That's why they're sponsoring, because they have so much money because the
I
house
know.
never loses.
I mean, there's no way that they're not paying TSN big bucks to be
Mhm.
FanDuel on there. And you've got the whoever is announcing the show that night, the two people usually, they're making their picks. The TSN staff
Yeah.
makes pick.
Yeah, they're all making their picks to make
They're
it
all
look
making their
cool, right?
picks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just not cool. I wouldn't mind so much if FanDuel was the sponsor and it showed it in the background, but the guys are making picks. They must be getting paid millions of
They're
dollars
getting
for
paid
that.
some big dollars to do that. Yep.
And I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. I get it. I know why FanDuel's doing it. I
I'd
know.
rather see Pepsi sponsor them and have them drink Pepsi in front of me than the
Absolutely.
gambling crap.
The gambling ruins people
Yep.
and it ruins families. And I just, so when I saw this, I had to put this question in there. And like I said, I know this is not quite the same thing, but it irks me to no end. And I wish that people out there would stop gambling on these sites. I know I can't do anything about it. And people are not going to listen to our show and, oh, geez, John said we should stop gambling. We better stop. Yeah, probably not. But I just wanted to put my disdain out there for these gambling sites and all this. And it's all over the place. Like, crazy.
Yeah, you can't separate sports and gambling anymore.
Yeah. All right.
And it
Well,
was taboo back when we were kids.
it was. I mean, you weren't allowed to do that, really. And now it's just everywhere. And they're making so much money off of it.
It's worse than the stupid tax, right? The lotteries. This is even worse than that.
Absolutely. Way much worse, much worse. All right. I guess I kind of went a little bit off on a tangent there. You did on the question before, and I kind of did a little bit that time. So, we better start showing ourselves, right?
Mm.
Oh, and for anybody that cares, I am going to make a site on Instagram for this podcast. I'm going to get an Instagram site going. We're going to put this on Instagram, see if we can't get some more traction because I think we get some really good information here for people, and we just need to get more exposure. All right. So now let's go on to the Hockey Prophet segment where I say, Chris, tonight you are the Hockey Prophet because it's just you.
Yep.
So, Chris, are you ready?
And I think Mike failed last week, too, on every question.
Mike failed. So. That's right. He did. That's right. Are you ready tonight, Chris?
Yep.
All right. Number one, hot or not? Brandon Busey, 5 games played, and he's 4-1. Should he be the starter?
No. Small sample size. No, I would not declare him the starter. So that is hot or not, we said? Not.
Yeah, hot or not. Okay. Number 2, Sunday night, the Leafs and the Hurricanes played.
Beautiful game.
And the Leafs lost 5-4. Now, the shots were 47-20 for the Hurricanes. And the Leafs had 2 shots in the third period. Wow, 2 whole shots. Did the Leafs even look like a real NHL team, Chris? That's my question for you. Did they even look like a real NHL team that night?
Yeah, the third period was 22-2 when Carolina took the lead, and then Toronto didn't really push back at all. And Carolina didn't even play that good, right? Probably the third period they really put it on, but it wasn't their best game. Toronto defensively looks I don't know. The McKay pass was just a lazy,
Oh,
oops,
I
I
saw the
passed it
pass.
on the stick, right?
He put it right on a stick.
Nylander had a couple of, giveaways at the blue line that transitioned back. I think Berube said it right. Defensively, the Leafs are just not focused on playing good defense and making right plays and protecting the puck and making the right plays with the puck. Um, so yeah, I think they've got a ways to go if they even want to be a playoffs team now, right? The playoffs are in doubt. I
Oh,
think
I
the
know.
latest analytics came out with Toronto. So
I know. All right. Okay, let's go on to question number 3. Besides the Hurricanes, Chris, what other NHL team do you enjoy watching the most? I bet it's Washington.
it is not Washington. I can promise you that. Um, for the games I watched, the Avalanche. The
Yeah,
Avalanche just
they're a fun team to
high end
watch.
talent and they're fast. Um, they have the high end talent that people always criticize Carolina for not having. Right? They don't have that elite guys. Carolina has a lot of guys, but they just lack those elite guys. And then when you play Colorado and you see McKinnon, you see Makar, you're like, oh man, that's what elite talent looks like.
Yep, and they have
Um,
two of them. Very hard to get. I mean,
yeah,
Edmonton has two elite talent as well.
yeah.
Hard to find.
So Colorado, probably the most impressive team. And when I watch, you're just like, phew, they're good.
All right. Okay. Number 4, with Mike not here tonight, Chris, I want you to predict the score for the Oilers and the Flyers game.
Oh, it's got to be 9-1 Oilers, right? It's got to
Who
be.
will win, Chris? What's the score going to be?
It's got to be 9-1. It's got to be. McDavid gets 6 points and he's back up in the scoring race. Book it.
You
Book it.
you really think the Oilers are going to win 9-1 against the Flyers tonight, or is the game tonight or tomorrow? I think it's tonight.
It is tonight.
So,
Yeah, I think the Oilers are going to win.
but not 9-1. Come on.
You never know. You never know.
I'll say 6-2 for the Oilers. Okay,
Okay.
6-2 for the Oilers.
No,
All right.
no, no Flyers love. No Flyers love.
No Flyers love here tonight. That's right. Now, this is the final question, Chris, and I'm sure you'll be glad when this is all over with. The Leafs scored 4 goals on 20 shots Sunday night against the Canes, which we just talked about. Is the Hurricanes goaltending good enough, Chris?
It comes up every year. Um,
That's why I'm bringing it up now.
yep.
I mean,
Uh,
4 goals on 20 shots, that's not great.
it was the third. It was well. Both teams had their third string goalies in nets,
True.
and Boosie didn't look as good as in previous games. But uh,
I mean,
if
Toronto
Anderson
can
if
shoot the
Anderson's
puck.
healthy, yes, he can get us to the finals and win. If he's not healthy, I think Kokechkov, he's had a few years now to take the reins, right? And he just hasn't consistently go through a big stretch of 8, 10 games, right? And that's why they keep on flipping back to Anderson. Um, Carolina's always looking to improve, right? We talk about it all the time. They're in all the rumors. They're in all the players, right? They're always trying to see, hey, what can we do? Because Carolina's loaded with draft picks and assets and players, right? They have what teams need. Um, so if an opportunity comes up, but again, similar, well, we have cap space, unlike Edmonton, right? We can absorb a goalie with a big contract. I don't think UC Soros is a level above where you want to drop $8 million, $9 million a year in your cap. Like I don't see Carolina doing that. They haven't done it. They haven't done it forever. Paid a
That's right.
goaltender any kind of money.
Well,
The
that's
last
why they have
one
so
was
much cap space.
the last one was probably Cam Ward, right? They re-signed Cam Ward to 6 years, $6 million or something. And that's the last goalie contract I can think of significance. So I don't see it. I know they always had interest in John Gibson, but he went to Detroit. But again, if somebody comes available that they really believe in, and that and the trade is value is correct, they'll pull the trigger. Right? They're not married to these
So,
goalies because they're cheap. Right? They're not married to any of them.
so would they, if Edmonton got rid of Skinner, would they take Skinner?
I've never heard anything about Skinner to Carolina, and I doubt it. It's just I've never heard any rumors about Skinner.
Oh, I'm not saying any rumor. It was just something I
Yeah.
thought of right off the top
And
of my
I
head.
don't know if he's the type of goalie they gravitate to either. So
All right.
Gibson really been the only. No, let me back up. They were interested in Markstrom before he went to New Jersey,
Oh, yeah,
and there was
that's right. I
another
think you
the
said that
goalie
before.
that went to Colorado last year. They said Carolina had reached out and Mackenzie Blackwood, right?
Yes.
That's the guy who
Blackwood.
went there and they signed. Yeah. So yeah, again, Carolina's in everything, right? So they were in there talking about what would it cost to get Mackenzie Blackwood. I know they were interested in Markstrom. So again, they're if to somebody out there, they're going to make a pitch likely, and but if the valuation doesn't match, they'll stick with what we got.
All right. Okay. Well, Chris, is there anything else that you wanted to go over tonight before we end our discussion?
The Washington Capitals, I guess, won last night, and Mike was really happy. I didn't realize he was a Capitals fan too, but
It's tough to be a Flyers fan, a Montreal fan, and a Capitals
and a
fan all at the
Capitals
same
fan.
time.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how, but he was watching because he texted me as soon as the game was done, so he must have been watching the game. The Washington Capitals played at a playoff pace. They obviously came in wanting to win bad. And it's just not me saying it. The announcers were talking about how players were saying that Carolina is probably in the top three most hated team to play against. They said Pittsburgh was one,
Of
and then they
course.
said Carolina was in the top three. So yeah, obviously the Canes are living rent free in the Washington Capitals minds, and they came out and played really hard. Again, Carolina played good, not great, but they matched the compete level. But Washington was on pucks, and Spencer Carberry last year said we play the same way as Carolina. They took that from Carolina, by the way, because Brendan Moore's been doing this for 7 years. But
Yep.
Spencer Carberry last year said we do what they do, they just do it better, right? Last night, Washington seemed to do what we do. They looked pretty good at it. But
Right.
Washington's a 500 team, which means they can't play at the level they played last night consistently. That separates the winners with the middle of the pack, right? Consistently bringing that effort.
It's tough to do consistently.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay. Well, we'll leave it there. I know that you wanted to say something about that because if we didn't, we would have got blasted or you would have been blasted
Yeah.
by Mike
Yeah.
and
I
I.
can't be biased. I gotta bring the truth to the people.
I mean, you said that that game was going to be interesting to see what happened, and Carolina did lose.
Yep.
And I see Ovechkin scored another empty netter.
Empty netter. Yeah, he
So
wasn't much of a factor in that game. It was their fourth line just really
yeah,
played hard. They really played hard.
he had 2 points, so he had an assist too, I believe.
Yeah, the puck came to him and he just passed it, and then that
Well,
empty net goal.
that's the way all of them.
Ovechkin is how Ovechkin's playing this year is what we expected last year. That's why we thought it would be 2 years before he broke the record, right?
Right, right. Okay, all right. Well, we'll end our discussion there for this evening. Like, share, and subscribe, folks, and we will see you next week later. And remember, we are going to put Chris's X feed down in the comments. So if you want to follow him, make sure you do.
Oof.
Next week.
Later.
Sugar dreams. Oh, sugar on my tongue, like a stolen. Oh, sugar on my tongue.